Okay, so hello everyone. I know it's been a while. I haven't filmed the entire month. So, yeah, you will see that I am going to be in the same outfit for a couple of videos because I am just gonna film as much as I can because I have been so behind on videos in general. So, today I wanted to do my March wrap up. I didn't read much in March because I just haven't been in the mood to read. I am that kind of reader. Sometimes I read a lot. As you saw on my February wrap up, February was a pretty good year, good wrap up or month for me. I read about 8 books, and that was because we had the booktube game, so I had that I don't know, motivation. But this month I just decided to take a bit of a break, and I also not discovered but finished Horizon Zero Dawn, the video game. So yeah, that took a lot of my time, but I'm not gonna talk much about that. I'm just gonna get to the books that I read. I'm gonna count the one that I'm currently reading because I am almost done with it, and I won't be able to tell you guys the just my final thoughts. You may be able to see those in my Goodreads. I try to update my Goodreads and just really go a bit in depth on the things that I liked and the things that I didn't. So yeah, you will see what that book is later. But let's just get started with what I read in March. So the first book that I was able to finish was The Lady of the Rivers by Philippa Gregory. This book took me a while to get through. Here's the thing, I did not connect with the characters. I found the story to be very apart from me. And by that I mean that I wasn't super invested or super into the world and the story. So I really just felt as if I was just watching a movie and I wasn't just captured by it. So yeah, the story was a bit interesting, but it wasn't that wonderful. It just lacked description and it lacked, I don't know. Oh my god, it's raining. Wonderful for just talking about books. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that, for instance, we barely get to see what these characters looked like. The only reason that I knew how Duquetta looked was because of the cover. She's never described in detail, and none of the characters as well. So when she gets married, we don't really get a description of how her husband looks. And I don't know why. I found that a bit of an issue because when I was trying to imagine the characters in my mind, I couldn't. I could only imagine her, and it was because of this. The story wasn't that interesting either. We were just seeing, it was kind of a political, historical thing, which if you really enjoy and you really like, then I do recommend that you read this book. But if you're looking for kind of a romance or something really intense, you're not gonna get it. It's just, I don't want to say it feels like reading a history book because it doesn't, but it's just a lot of politics and a lot of, I don't know, there's not even a lot of drama in it. So I don't know, I just felt like overall this book was pretty bland. It didn't capture me. It wasn't interesting. I ended up giving it, I think, 2 stars. And I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but I think I'm gonna bump it down. Like I said, or I have mentioned before, I am a very emotional, I don't know, rater. So if a book doesn't capture me, if a book doesn't make me just wanna scream, then I'm not gonna give it a good rating. Overall, I don't think that this book was pretty interesting. Next, I had to read a book for school, and I'm gonna just talk about it really briefly because I don't think that it is a very, I don't think it's a very, I don't know, I don't think I have much of thoughts on it. It is called, it's in Spanish, so it's La Vitrina Rota o ¿Qué carajo pasó aquí? This is just a historical nonfiction book about Puerto Rico and about the story of the history of Puerto Rico. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm from Puerto Rico, I live in Puerto Rico, so I had to read this for class. I think that it is a very easy to consume way of just knowing Puerto Rican history. And if you just are interested in reading Puerto Rican history, I think that this is a very easy way to do so. I don't know, sometimes it was a bit too satirical at times or sarcastic, and I don't know, I think that I went a bit too far on that end, but overall it was good. It was eye-opening in some ways. I feel like when I read a book about the history of Puerto Rico, I always just find something new and something that I didn't know. So yeah, it's short, it's quick, but mainly I read it for class and I enjoyed it. I just don't know if I should give it a rating because I never know how to rate nonfiction, and yeah, I think I'm gonna give it like 3.5. So yeah, here's the thing. As a Puerto Rican, I pretty much know a lot. I don't want to just brag here and say I know my history, but I do think that I know a fair amount. So most of the things that I read in this book, I already know. So yeah, it was a bit boring in that sense because I felt like I was reading the same thing again. But I do think that it's a really good book for those who don't know anything. So yeah, it's weird. I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars because it's alright. The next book that I picked up was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is my second Jane Austen book. I love her. I love her writing. I love how funny she is in her writing, and I don't know, she's one of my favorite authors ever. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's just break it down because I do have some thoughts on it. Let's just try divide it between the things that I want to divide it into the objective side and the subjective side. So objectively, this book is really good. It's narrated amazingly. The characters feel extremely real and you connect with them, especially the 2 main characters. It's really just funny. I don't want to say funny, but interesting how each sister represents a thing. For example, in Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth represented the prejudice and Darcy the pride. But in here, it's the same thing. But I love how those 2 aspects are kind of questioned when these characters just, I don't know, go through hard times. So for instance, there are moments in which Eleanor lost her sense of sense. I feel like she was a very practical and a person who wasn't really swayed by emotions, and she didn't make irrational decisions. And at moments when she was, I don't know, going through a hard time, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just call it heartbreak or something like that. Well, heartbreak, she just lost this sense of rationality in a way that it was almost, I don't know, unbelievable coming from her character. But at the same time, it's just, I'm contradicting myself, but it was realistic, and the way that it was done and the way that it was written, I think that it was wonderfully made. And the same thing happens with, I forgot her name, with Marianne. I was gonna say Margaret, but I'm like, no, Margaret is the other sister. So yeah, the same thing happens with Marianne. And I just love the dynamics between these 2 sisters and their families and the people that they meet. The secondary characters are just amazing. I just think that the thing that I just most enjoyed, it's just how real it felt and how real these people felt and the way that they said things. It was just wonderfully done. One of the characters that I just enjoyed the most was Mrs. Jennings. She was this woman who just loved gossip, but that deep inside, she was so kind and just motherly. And I loved her, and I love how this gossip that she loves is something that just serves her and serves the plot. I just love the fact that because she just loves to gossip, the other characters get to know through her information, and it also kind of, it's something that she struggles with, but it's also something that serves the story, and that it kind of helps our characters and our main characters particularly just know what's happening around them. It's just amazing, and I just get so happy. That being said, and I'm getting to the subjective side now, I didn't like the ending. So yeah, I didn't particularly like the ending. I didn't particularly like the people that each of the sisters ended up with. I thought that, I don't know, I just didn't like it, and yeah, but at the same time I enjoyed everything so much more that I don't care, and I'm just gonna disregard it because yeah, I don't know, it was so good. And I feel like this is a book that you shouldn't just read as fast as you can. You should just take your time reading it and enjoy it for what it is. I don't know, I'm just happy that I just read another Jane Austen book and I loved it. Yeah, you will see in my TBR that I'm gonna read another one. Although I don't know what order these videos will be, so maybe this will be the second video, and my wrap-up, not my wrap-up, my TBR will be the first. So either way, I'm going to be reading Persuasion this month of April, so yeah, hopefully it's good. And it's as good as all the other books. And yeah, I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It's good. I just didn't like the ending. But yeah, I loved it. The other one that I'm currently reading is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Here's the thing. I began to just read this book, and at first I was bored, then something occurred and I was like, okay, this is getting interesting. My main issue is with the main character. I think his name is Akiva. I don't like him. I feel like he acts out of his character, and yeah. Here's the thing. At first he was introduced to be just this broody, really serious guy. He's a warrior. He is heartbroken, he hates life, whatever. But you would think that because of these traits that you are introduced to him, that they are introduced to his character or something like that. I don't know if I phrased it well. You would think that he would act a certain way. And I understand what Laini Taylor was trying to do to just make him, I don't know, gradually just more open and more romantic, but the way that it was done so quickly that I just didn't like how it felt. It felt too insta-lovey, and I don't like insta-love, so yeah. I don't know, I haven't finished it, but it just seems like these two characters just met and they are practically in love with each other, and I don't understand why. I really don't understand why. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that book. So far it's like, I don't want to give it a 2-star, but I think it's on that way. I don't know, depends on the end, but I don't know, I just feel like in this book I should just root for the characters and I would be super happy that they are together, but I'm not. I just am questioning why they are liking each other in the first place. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that book in particular. I have not finished it, and again, just go to my Goodreads when I finish it and you will see my thoughts, and you will see what rating I gave it, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna give it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will just see you guys with the next video. Bye.